again, it's just like we're at that point now where we've been doing this for 10 years. Like we know how to write a record. We know how to make a neck deep record.
Been doing it for 12.
Oh god. Oh god. Well, we lost 2 years somewhere along that. So.
Hey guys, I'm Rishi and today I'm joined by Ben and Matt from Neck Deep for the latest in Enemies in Conversation series. How's it going, guys?
Very good, thank you. Yeah,
good.
made it down here in one piece. We up bright and early from Chester, had a little road trip together. So
yeah, well, thank you for coming down. This is a regular stop for you in London. You were saying Duke's covered in Soho.
Yeah, we are purveyors of fine vintage clothing, and Duke's, tend to provide. I think I've bought one of my favourite vintage T-shirts from here, which is a Titanic bootleg shirt with Leonardo DiCaprio's name spelt wrong.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. So yeah, found that here, and we do stop by whenever we're in Soho. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I guess Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Are you chilling into the year? Is it like it's album month? What's kind of the vibe in the run up?
We're prepping, not for nuclear apocalypse. That sounded mad.
We're prepping, but
I've got a bunker and everything now. Yeah.
Bunker.
No, we're getting ready for the record to come out on the 19th. But yeah, and then we're going on tour soon as well. We're off to America pretty much at the start of it. So
I mean, I've been kind of chilling into the new year a bit because of all the madness coming. I've kind of been having quite a chill one at home and just trying to get into some good habits. Not on anything like New Year's resolution, anything, because I know I'll just pressure myself.
They're big scary things.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more day by day, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to chill into it a little bit. Just try eat a bit better and get out a bit more and just spend time with my fiance and my dogs before I'm away for a while. Yeah.
And what's the plan for release day? Any specific party? I know you've got the tacos event in the build-up.
Yeah. Well, on our release day is our drummer Pals' 30th birthday.
Oh,
so
lovely.
Some would argue that could be more important than that, but his mum would anyway, bless her.
Yeah, his mum is very excited for it.
Yeah, she's looking forward to that, as are we. But
I think there'll be a little something for that. Yeah. I think because
I think he booked a table at a place like next door because we're doing some acoustic sets like in the lead up to the record coming out, and his 30th falls on one in his hometown of Nottingham. So we're going out for some dinner before that, and then I'm sure there'll be a cake or something. But
yeah, we're not crazy. Like, I think our days of like any excuse for a party have kind of behind us a little bit. We're pretty chill and don't want to set ourselves up for the first few days of an American tour. Wait, do we fly out to America the next day? I think it is literally the next day.
Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Soon after, anyway.
Done a hungover flight before, and
yeah, that's a great way to start the tour, isn't it?
Yeah, great start to the new year. Yeah, trying to be healthier. Just battered on a flight is not how I saw that. So yeah.
Well, album 5, I guess the self-titled one.
Yeah.
Often that's something bands will do on their debut. But like we've seen some bands do it a bit later on. What was behind that decision? Because it's quite a statement, isn't it? This is Neck Deep by Neck Deep.
Well, we had loads of album titles floating about. There were a bunch that we were stoked on, that we were picking out from albums. Some of them were funny, some of them were serious, some of them were very introspective and all this. But there wasn't one that was like really sticking for everyone, And I think just because of the process of how the record was made, like we ended up having to pivot what we were doing and kind of had to start again. Really, we'd initially gone out to LA to make the record, and then that didn't really turn out how we wanted it to, and so we ended up doing the record ourselves in our own studio. And so when the idea of a self-titled was thrown out, it was kind of like, well, yeah, we literally built this from the ground up. All of it was done ourselves, kind of the way that we used to do it as well. Like, we've got a nice studio. We're not in Seb's bedroom anymore, but it's still very much Seb at the helm and kind of all just prying away at it. And yeah, I think it's the most involved, like, we've all been collectively. And so if any album's neck deep, then this is the one. Yeah, I think when it was suggested, it was just like, yeah, it feels right. And probably got to do a self-titled at some point. So
yeah,
just get it out of the way, innit?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is about as classic as Neck Deep as you get. Some of the songs on there, like you can hear bits of all what's come before and what's sort of the newer sound on there. So I guess talk me through that decision. You're saying you're out in LA and things weren't going sort of as planned. Was that sort of over a period of time you realised that, or was it kind of all at the same moment? Guys, we need to, reset this a bit.
I think it's one of those situations where everyone was feeling the same thing, but no one wanted to be the first person to say anything. And then the minute someone said something, everyone was like, oh, fuck for that.
Yeah,
and then we kind of just all came to the decision collectively that this isn't really where we need to be taking this. We were picking apart songs, I think, that we felt that we didn't need to pick apart or change, or bits of being maybe just because of the environment we were in, we were like, oh, maybe if we change this part, where in reality it's we don't need to change anything, we just need to make sure this
it's the way that we want
good.
it. Yeah, and it was tough. I think it was about a week into the trip. We'd had a few days in the studio that were maybe quite slow, and maybe some songs that we were really stoked on in their demo sort of form, then going into the studio and putting them down and not being so. I mean, you can get demotitis anyway. With
Demotitis, that's brilliant.
Yeah, where you get hooked on the demo and that's how it is. But we knew that there's something that's missing from this, that is sort of this intangible thing, and I think that is just all of our input and feeling, as though, because we're all pretty telepathic with that sort of stuff. We know when it's sounding right, and it just wasn't really there. So I think even though it was tough, we definitely had a few pretty stressful conversations, essentially setting ourselves back a month or so, and but it was for the best, because as soon as we got into our own studio and we started sort of repiecing the songs together, it was finally, this feels a lot better.
Because for as much as we've travelled, everyone's a homebody. Everyone likes just being in our own environment. So I think having the ability to go to the studio and then just go home at night was a nice new experience that we've not really experienced before. Unless you're Seb, in which case the studio used to be his home and his bedroom, but not anymore.
No escape.
Yeah.
And has that happened before in any of the other albums, where you sort of hit a bit of a brick wall, or was it kind of a bit more seamless? Because the turnarounds were a bit quicker, sort of 2 years, but this one, kind of, you let run its course until it was ready.
I mean, every record has a sort of a point, I think that's part of the creative process, is going through a period where you're hypercritical of yourself, because otherwise you are just kind of going to settle for that. And if something's not right, then you want to keep going, and you will always question God, does this just suck? And then a little bit of perspective or a little tweak here and there, or for me anyway, sometimes it's just getting the right lyric, and it's all right, cool, now these songs are exactly what we need them to be. And every record has that, but no, we've never been in a position where we would feel we'd have to restart doing a record. But I think again, it's just we're at that point now where we've been doing this for 10 years. We know how to write a record. We know how to make a neck deep record.
We've been doing it for 12.
Oh god. Oh god. Well, we lost 2 years somewhere along that. So yeah. But it was. We know ourselves better than anyone, and we have a great producer in his own right in Seb, and so we have all the tools to be able to do it ourselves now. And whether we do that going forward, we're not opposed to going and working with producers and stuff, but we know full well that we can do a record totally off our own back and be happy with how it turns out.
Yeah, and you said everyone's a bit of a homebody at heart kind of thing. Did it feel, making this record, that it rolled back the memories a bit, especially for you guys, because you've both been here since the very, very start?
Yeah.
I thought it was nice. I thought it was nice to be it was good to be working with Seb again. I think Seb obviously has been
the secret weapon the entire time.
he when he joined the band, it wasn't a new member to us. It was just oh cool, Seb is just stepping into a more involved role, I guess.
Everyone was just stoked, because it's he actually just gets to experience the really, really fun parts that we get to experience as well now. And he gets to travel with us. He's your brother, he's one of my best mates. It's just oh cool, now he just gets to come with us.
Yeah,
which
it's seamless. So, but working with Seb again was I think he is the sort of one of that secret ingredient. Me and Seb are we grew up on the exact same music taste. If anything, I would just listen to whatever he was listening to. And so from that, we picked up a lot of the similar taste in things, and like a lot of the same like songwriting things. And like we both kind of hear things in our ears, or we both love the same things about music. So if I have an idea and I'm explaining it in like some weird, long, convoluted way because I can't really explain it, he'll be able to go, I know what you mean, let's make this happen. Whereas, you know, sometimes when you're working with someone new or working with someone from outside of the band, it can be a little tough sometimes. You can kind of rub. Maybe they've got their way of doing things, you've got your way of doing things, and yeah, that can be tough sometimes. But it's nice to not compromise for anything. And so, yeah, I think it did kind of feel like going back to the old days where we didn't really have anyone telling us what we could or should do. It was just, sweet, let's sit in a room and work on this until it feels good, and just not have to hold back or compromise.
Yeah, and like as you're saying, you sort of did it on your own terms in your own space, quite near Wrexham, Chester, sort of area. Is that like a space you're hoping to just keep forever kind of thing now?
Yeah.
Is it like fun sort of building it up?
Yeah, it's fun. It's also daunting realising how much shit you accumulate over 12 years of absolute rubbish, some of it. So it's like, what are we going to do with that? Like, but it's just nice having everything central. It's like walking distance from my house. It's like right near yours, near Seb. Like,
it's like a dream, isn't it? It's like every band's kind of like, or it's like a weird boyhood dream of having like a little
clubhouse.
A clubhouse, yeah. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it feels, and we've been slowly renovating it and doing some bits and bobs to it, and yeah, it just feels like a place that is ours, and it's awesome. It's been in the pipeline for a long time, and luckily, like the perfect spot came up. Like I said, it's right by all of our houses and like everything that we need, dead private, and we can just do whatever we want in there, which is the dream.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the dream. So yeah, we're working on it now. We're actually, the studio's getting renovated right now. We're having it.
We're having the live room redone.
Yeah, we
which
haven't
needs
been able
to
to
be done in how many days? 2 or 3 days.
Needs
So
to
we
be
can
done in
practice it.
like
So
quick turnaround.
4 days. I mean, it needs to be done by the 14th. Yeah, no, we got like 5 days.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah. And
The bulk of it's done.
Wrexham's having a bit of its moment now, isn't it?
I know, it took long enough, didn't it?
Let's go.
Do you feel the buzz? Or
Yeah,
you
100%, massively. Yeah,
I
even
guess
though
you guys are the forefront of the Wrexham music scene in a way.
yeah, well, I think it's
tell Ryan and Rob.
yeah.
Racecourse ground when?
Yeah, well, that's always been the aim. Like, we've always said we'd rather do the racecourse over Wembley. Like, we've played Wembley a few times, and like, Wembley would obviously be awesome, and it's a milestone, and it's this great thing, but it'd be so much cooler to be like the hometown band that sells out the racecourse. Would be unreal, and it is big, man. It's like a big ground, so that would be the dream. But yeah, definitely feel the buzz for sure. Like, for the first time ever, there's like some positivity about Wrexham. Like, for the first time ever, you could say, oh, in 10 years, Wrexham may have grown into a bigger city, or just have a better reputation, and the football team could be this and that. Whereas you haven't been able to say that about Wrexham for
Well, it is a city now.
since the mines closed. Do you know what I mean?
It's actually a city now.
I mean, it's still the town. Everyone's it's still the shagging
but,
town. Like that's all. And even Wrexham we got made a city, and it's. I think everyone was kind of like,
we got made a city
Really?
because of,
Weird, yeah,
because of
this
the
is-
boys, I think.
yeah,
The boys and Disney.
yeah, it's no surprise that we've been trying to get city status for like 20 years, and then as soon as
Out of
Hollywood comes
nowhere.
along, it's like the city of Wrexham.
One
But
click of the fingers and you're a city.
yeah, but it's good. I'm really stoked. It's really sick to see a place like Wrexham kind of having its day in the sun, because it is like a beautiful place outside of this kind of rowdiness of it. Like it's beautiful. The people are like super down to earth, salt of the earth people, and I think maybe gets a bit of a bad rap. And it's kind of similar to how Neck Deep have kind of been really like. We've kind of always had a lot of people kind of naysaying and kind of like didn't want us to succeed, and
Right.
Wrexham has a lot of that too. It's like every little town and area around it are all pretty buddy, but then when it comes to Wrexham, everyone's just had this big aversion to it, and so now this success has come along, it's like, now everyone wants a piece, and so
Love Wrexham now.
we've always kind of, I think being from Wrexham kind of gave us that attitude anyway in the first place, or if you ain't with us, then kick rocks, and so now it's cool to see
It's a nice
not
way of
only
putting
us
it.
doing well, but but the town doing well as well. So,
Well,
it's-
watch this space, Racecourse Ground. But what is happening is Ali Pali.
Yes.
28th of March, massive show,
Yes.
biggest headline show ever. How long have you had that in the pipeline for?
A while.
Yeah, a minute.
Well, you know, the aim was to kind of do it around the last record. The vid got in the way of that. And then...
Poo-pooed on that plan.
Yeah, and it kind of just, you know, it did take us a while to bounce back from that, just to, like, catch back up with, like... You know, it felt like we were still doing all the backlogged shows from that for like a couple of years afterwards. So
We literally, end of last year, just did a rescheduled one.
yeah, we're only
End of
just ticking off like
2023.
rescheduled
Like
shows.
a rescheduled in-store for the release of that record. It's like, we're not doing songs, we're just going to play a set. We're like, no one wants to hear 4
No
songs
one remembers
acoustics,
that this is even an acoustic set. You know?
We didn't even remember this was happening, and barely anybody there did either, probably at that point. So it was like, we'll sack that off.
Yeah, but it's been in the pipeline for a while. Definitely been in the sights for a while, and I think now's the right time to do it. I think this new record is so much sort of energy to it, and I think fans are just gonna kind of love this record for. Have you already seen a few comments about it? I don't think we ever lost form, but some people saying return to form and all this, and so I think there's a nice sort of swell happening at the minute, and so if we can jump on that and do Ali Palace. Ali Palace is actually one of my favourite venues too, just because a flat 10,000,
nice big open room, fine by me.
So I was saying about like Wembley as well. Like Wembley's cool, but like the seats kill it a little bit, and like it's always tough for us sometimes, like in those big rooms, to sell the seats. Because people want to mosh, people want to move, they want to get involved, and so 10,000 just straight front to back is
fine by
ideal.
me.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
And is it sort of, as well as showcasing the new album, kind of a bit of a celebration of Neck Deep to this point? Like, how on earth do you go about curating the set list, pleasing everyone for a show as massive as that?
Yeah, we can't even please ourselves.
Yeah,
like,
what are the conversations are they starting?
Oh, God.
Miserable.
Yeah. Well, it's like, we've got a new album that we're dead proud of, that it's like, but then it's like, God, we can't just play the whole new album and kind of neglect everything up to that point. And I think when we're doing a show that's that big, it's our biggest headliner to date. I think it makes more sense for it to kind of be that celebration. Yeah. So, it's a good mix. I think all the hits, a lot of stuff that we haven't played before.
We're playing a lot of songs, I'll tell you that much.
There's something off every record as well, which I think fans are going to love too. We always get asked to play stuff off Wishful Thinking, and we always get asked to play like a lot of Lights Out to Get You stuff as well, and so we're throwing in a few of the deep cuts off that record, stuff that we haven't played either in a long time or ever before. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a big celebration.
And like, you've just done Rain in July in full. I know you're doing Life's Not Out to Get You in full at When We Were Young festival a bit later in the year. Does it do you feel differently about the songs, like rehearsing them again, especially for songs you haven't played in like a number of years?
Yeah,
that's what I feel. I feel my age. So yeah, that's the one thing. It's like 10 years since we did that. It's like, it feels like last week.
Yeah.
Especially like the fact that we're coming up on an anniversary of Life's Not Out to Get You is insane.
Wild. Yeah.
Yeah, like a 10-year as well, not even like a 5-year. Like that is, like next year will be the 10-year of that, which is batshit.
Time moves, goes.
It moves fast.
Yeah, you're telling me.
I think when we first started like practicing for a lot of the Rain in July stuff, it was sick to play those songs again for the first time. And I think the first lot of shows that we did for them were really sick, and genuinely did. I think for me personally, anyway, gave me a kind of a new perspective on our live performances, because we've been playing some like bigger shows and a lot of barrier shows and stuff, and so to like fully throw ourselves back into how we used to do things was like a really nice reminder of like what our show should feel like, and kind of the core elements of it. So I think it gave me a bit of confidence to like be a bit more involved and with the crowd and to just a nice reminder of that. But I will say, by the end of playing those songs, because we ended up doing like how many shows in total?
A few runs,
The
right?
initial plan was like, we're doing 3 shows in the UK and we're doing 3 shows in America, and my mindset on it was, if you don't get a ticket, tough shit. Like, sorry.
But you're very mean. That's what fans thought.
Yeah,
fans thought
but
we were all
fans
very
thought I was
mean.
very mean. So that
and
meant that we had to do more and more, and it was kind of like, by the end of it, it's like, it's still really fun, still really enjoyed doing it, but it was like, it's time to put this to
this
to
to
rest
bed
for
now a little
If
bit.
I never
yeah.
play Silver Lining ever again in my life, I'll be fine.
It just got to a point where it's kind of like, I don't know. It started to lose its like
Sheen.
special. Yeah, like it didn't seem as special because we were kind of like throwing them in as like, you know, just cool things to do as like little filler shows or whatever. But then it's like, nah, we should keep this
This
as
needs
a
to
special
be.
thing.
Yeah,
We can't just start doing this as a bit. You
It's
know?
in the box now.
Yeah, I got a bit sick of it because I listened back to some old lyrics and stuff, and I'm like, God, you cringe bag. What the hell are you on about? Like, there's some lyrics that like I just won't sing live because I'm just like, that's cringy.
I was thinking
Cringy
that
lyric.
about like just like bits of the songs. Like,
Yeah.
Why did we slow it down there?
Yeah.
Like this doesn't mean like.
Why is
just,
there a tempo change in the song?
just
Why
keep
has this
pace,
song got
it's fine.
4 verses? Why is this a double? What is the point? Why am I like?
Oh, you're
rapping?
too harsh on yourself. You're too
I
harsh
know,
on yourself.
yeah, but you know, like I said, we come a long way since those days, and
you have.
you know, I think we'll always be critical of ourselves. I don't think any of us can listen to music in the same way anymore. It's one of them. We're always going to be analysing. But it was really, really sick. But yeah, definitely putting it to bed for a bit now. Are we playing some of that? I think we're playing a couple songs.
We're playing
of
them.
that for Ali Pali. But
Yeah.
Just a few, yeah.
just a couple, but it's not the full.
Not
thing.
all of
Not
them.
the full thing.
We're just doing Silver Lining 26 times.
0 tickets sold.
Your worst nightmare, man.
It does sound like a fever dream.
No, but I'm sort of building on that a bit, like, from the inside as a band, like, nostalgia for fans is obviously such a big thing. People love hearing those old songs. But, like, do you think playing those records, a festival like when we were young sort of embodies that, where everyone's doing those old school records in full? Like, when you're such a forward-thinking band, is it as enjoyable to just get caught up in that moment and let it be special when you're obviously so thinking about the next thing at the same time?
Yeah, I get. Yeah, and I think, you know, like I said, I think that's kind of why when at the end of the Rain in July stuff, we were a bit like, because, you know, you want to be moving forward, but nostalgia, whether we like it or not, is a huge part of our genre specifically as well. I think our genre plays on a lot of nostalgia because, you know, it's had its peak in important times for people. You know, I think when we were growing up and when we were kids, along with, like, I'd say the majority of our fans, that was, you know, it was at its peak. And so I think, again, whether we like it or not, we're always kind of going to be calling back to, you know, plucking some nostalgia strings. Like, that's kind of how we operate. But I think it's cool because Life's Not Out to Get You is a special record for us. It was arguably, well, it was the record that kind of got us out there. And so, yeah, to pay homage to that is cool. And to be doing it alongside a bunch of other bands that are doing it too. It's kind of like, well, if you're doing it, then
We'll have a go
we'll
at
do
it then
too.
and all as well.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I think just doing it too much. I think as long as it can be kept special and kind of like this, you know, a special thing rather than just like, you know, a little party trick or whatever. Then, yeah. So I'm stoked. When we were young, genuinely one of the best run festivals we've ever been to.
It was
like,
great last
we
time.
played the first one and we were like kind of skeptical about like, how are they going to pull off this many massive bands all in a day?
And they did.
And they did it.
It
was great.
So,
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Really,
Round
really
two,
good.
round 2.
yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Sort of on that nostalgia, I guess December is a song that kind of has its moment every year. You sort of come to realise, like, it's January now, it's just maybe coming off people's playlists after being there. Can you call it a Christmas song at that point?
Well, we do at
It's
this
ours,
point,
yeah.
honestly. Yeah.
It's our unofficial Christmas song, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think sometimes they're the best Christmas songs as well, like the ones that aren't like necessarily Christmas songs, but they just suit that time of year.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll take it. And again, we get a nice little bump in the algorithm on that month, so hey, it works. It
sure.
works.
And then
Free marketing every year.
Yeah, let's
Buy
go.
the calendar, it's great.
yeah, and you've reimagined it and started playing that more full band version.
Yeah,
live.
yeah.
But as well, a couple of years ago, obviously Rosé from BLACKPINK covered it,
Yeah.
and like now you've had sort of a few years that's kind of settled in. How do you sort of reflect on that and kind of the new life it kind of breathed into the song and the people it sort of exposed it to?
It's mental, isn't it?
Yeah, it's wild. Like, you know, I truly don't know of many people that, like, I don't know. I know a few people, like a few big artists like our band or whatever, but enough to like go and cover it on like something big like that is
wild.
Pretty big. And like for her, like, you know, it's not this enormous song that, like, you know, is kind of going to be a guaranteed, like, yeah, cool, I'm just covering this awesome song. You know, it's kind of a more under the radar song, and she like didn't have to do that, you know. So that's really, really sick because it massively shone a light on that song. I don't know if maybe some of the success we've had in Asia is
Potentially.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was down to that. Yeah, we do super well in Southeast Asia, and I honestly think, probably a big part of that. So
we had no idea it was happening. We just woke up and saw it and was like, what the?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I mean, I'm not a huge K-pop guy. Not like I don't like it, but I'm not sat listening to K-pop at home. But seeing the like interaction, I was like, holy shit! Like,
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so it was really sick.
And have you spoken to her ever about it, or had the chance to like?
No, I don't think she likes us. I'm
sure she's busy.
Yeah. Just keep covering.
We're just like, nice one.
Yeah,
I'll be there at Ali Pali when you bring her out.
Oh my!
Yeah, I don't know.
We're spending enough on production as it is.
I was going to say, I don't know if she's busy and we're broke. So.
Yeah.
that was my next question, actually, production, because it's a one-off show. Like, do you have these big ideas that you've like had in the pipeline for 10 years that you finally get to like bring to life? Because you've done Wembley before, like, and sort of support tours and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, this is the one moment for a massive production.
Yeah, West is a big hand in our production, and this has been a big thorn in the side, but I think
thorn in the side and a hole in the pocket.
Yeah.
It's going to be good, and you have to come, please.
We've got some fun ideas in the pipeline. I'm not 100% if those ideas are confirmed yet, so I don't want to like go teasing anything because it doesn't happen.
Just come, it's going to be great. It's
But
going to be the biggest show we've ever done.
Yeah, we're going to have fun with it, and
put it one way, we're not skimping, so
we're going all out. We're going out. We're blowing the budget on the.
I mean, it's
show.
gone already. So honestly, please come.
Yeah, and you weren't lying when you said there's some great special guests for that show.
Yes.
Knuckle Puck, Drain. I mean,
Yeah.
is it nice to have kind of friends from the scene there with you, like at a show of that?
Well, we're going to have done
size.
the American tour leading up to it, doing the full thing with Drain, so we'll be freshly acquainted with them again.
Yeah.
And then Knuckle Puck did our first ever US tour with us in that same slot, so it's kind of like a nice
full circle moment. Yeah,
really,
for sure.
yeah, so.
And like their Knuckle Puck's latest record was great and genuinely great live band, command like a great show. I think it'll be and Drain too for people that maybe aren't too familiar. There's so
I cannot wait
fun.
to see them in front of a room of that many people. It's going to be insane.
We've seen them play to small rooms and now seeing footage of like their bigger headline shows in America. They're doing really, really well. Like, it doesn't matter where they're playing; they will put on the same show regardless.
And who they're playing to as well. That's
it doesn't matter who they're playing to.
They'll put the same show on regardless. And if you don't know who they are before you walk into the room, you're leaving listening to them.
So
They had a longer merch line, but all of our underplay shows than we did.
Yeah.
Every night it was sick.
Dedicated.
But yeah, I think it'll be great. You know, like I said, I think Drain definitely set the tone and will get people moving whether they want to or not. And then Knuckle Puck, I think, is like just again anyone who's been a fan of Neck Deep for a while has probably been a fan of Knuckle Puck for a while too, and will understand the relationship there. So good to be on with friends and. Yeah, very grateful for them to come out and doing it too. Yeah. It's a long way for them to come. So
do a one-er basically.
Come on and do a one-off for that. But
it's gonna be an epic lineup. For
sure.
Sort of to finish off, I guess, for you two especially, because you've both sort of been there since the start. I know Neck Deep's had lineup changes sort of throughout its career. Like, how are you feeling about the band at this moment in time, looking kind of a bit to the future? Because you've got so much exciting things coming up. The album hasn't even like had its moment. It's gonna have its whole era. Yeah. Like, what's the mindset for you guys at this point in time with how you feel your relationship with Neck Deep?
Sound.
Sound.
Honestly, it doesn't feel like we've got a bunch of new members. Like, it feels like we've got friends who have always kind of been around. Like I said, Seb's always been in the band. Palsy's been
our drum tech for the best part of a decade.
Yeah, and I mean Palsy, his roles extended way beyond the drum tech, you know, because we were also close personally as friends. But then he was like almost managing us for a minute and
production
like just
managing all the time as well.
And so, it just feels like 5 mates who are very much all on the same page and just all want the same things, all at the same sort of point in life, and we're all in the same kind of headspace. Really, just want to write good music and play big shows and just have a good time doing it. You know, truly just feels like this feels like the most comfortable and sort of like harmonious version of the band, I think, for sure.
We're chilling. It's great.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And a very quick final one, Tacos.
Yeah.
There's a special album celebration event. What makes this self-titled album go so well with Mexican food?
Spicy. No, it's I don't know. I just think it's if you know anything about Death by Tacos, the restaurant that we're going to be at, is they're like a heavy metal, like it's pretty much the only place in Chester where you'll go and you could be able to hear like
It's
riffs.
for scruffs like us.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
So it's the
Home
only place
turf.
that we can.
Yeah, but
pretty
everyone
much.
there, like we followed their journey from when they were just a little baby market stall thing, and so I think it's perfect. Really, like they're like a poppin' food brand. It's like my go-to spot to eat. And
We go there literally all the time.
yeah, maybe once a week at least.
Yeah.
This album was fueled by Death by Tacos.
Yeah, well, it was
so-
in a lot of ways, and like, you know, what's not to like? I think.
We had our Christmas do there.
Yeah. Blink said it best. You know, she brings me Mexican food from Sabaro. As soon as they wrote that line, it was like Mexican food and pop punk goes hand in
It's
hand.
the Death by then, surely.
Yeah.
Match made in heaven. Well, self-titled album, it's out now, and Ali Pali, 28th of March, neck deep, be there or be square. Thanks so much, guys,
Yep.
and all the best for the rest of the year.
Cheers,
very
mate.
much.
Nice one.
Nice one.